Bishop Malusi Mpumlwana is the General Secretary of the South African Council of Churches. He joins us now for his reaction. Bishop Mpumlwana, good to speak to you. What has been your reaction as a church?
Good evening, Tsepiso. Thank you for having us. Well, you know, he opens with, it's been 2 long years. Indeed, it has. Some of us naively thought that if this thing takes 2 weeks to manifest in a person, surely, you know, after 3 weeks of shutdown, everyone who's sick should show up and we should get them treated and we get on with our merry way. And it wasn't going to be like that. 2 years later, we're still in state of anxiety. I think before I say what our reaction is, Tsepiso, I should like to just make the recognition of 100,000 people that have died so far. The South African Council of Churches will indeed be recognizing this number of people, even though we cannot name them all, in the Good Friday service that's coming in April, as we mount the pains of South Africans on the cross of the crucified Christ. It is, for many homes, the opening up that is beginning to happen will enable families to recognize those people that have passed away and honor them. The relaxations that have been announced by the president that are upcoming are most welcome indeed. They will make a huge difference in the almost normalization of life. But I think together with it is an understanding that we have to develop a culture of living with the virus, knowing its danger, and that be able to know that there are certain protocols that must be part of our way of life. And I think that is going to have to be our task going forward. We are rather disturbed that it takes until the middle of April to make a decision about this dropping of the state of disaster, because the 15th of April is Good Friday. It almost leaves the churches in a state of uncertainty for over Easter weekends for a 3rd year running. It is little comfort that the president then goes on to say that people can only be in gatherings if they are vaccinated or show a COVID test, which cost no less than 500 Rand. I think we've crossed this before. We mentioned quite a while, in fact, we've said several times to government that in all places you can make a decision about who is allowed to come or not allowed to come, but not in a place of faith. There's no way at all.
So Bishop Mpumlwana, allow me to jump in and ask about this, the impact on the church, the body of work that it's obligated to do, that it is, especially at a time like this, as you say, Easter, there are people who are milestone attenders, should I say, in terms of going to church, but having to contend with something like COVID-19, many people have lost loved ones, many people themselves have suffered, not only from having COVID-19, losing jobs, etc., etc. What kind of perspective has it given you in terms of the role of the church and how it engages government, and also how it serves people?
Well, let me just start off by saying I'm speaking now specifically with the South African Council of Churches. We are part of what we call the Religious Forum Against COVID. That includes, it's a multi-faith, interfaith body, including churches that are not in the SACC. But I'm speaking specifically for the SACC to say that we have committed, and the other faiths as well, since we've been doing this since late last year, that we're trying to make sure that 7 out of 10 people in every congregation are vaccinated. So that's our campaign. We are on to a Vaccum Zanzi campaign that we are driving very hard. There's no issue with that at all. But it does not also mean that I can say when Tsepiso comes through the door to come and worship, we say, sorry, Tsepiso, you can't worship, you're not vaccinated. I just can't do that. It doesn't work like that. No, we cannot do that. We will definitely continue to encourage people, exhort people to vaccinate and so on. But that's also besides the fact that the people don't have the money, nor even the facilities. I mean, if you are in Manguzi, northern Zululand, even the place to go for a test is not, you don't just go to a discount, for something like this. In rural areas, you don't want to get that. So this is making it a demand that is not practicable. And I think that the government needs to understand. That's also besides the fact that we all know now that South Africa has got about 80%, upwards of 80% of natural immunity, which is really huge. And I think we can lean on that as well as we continue to persuade people to do the right thing. But I think that in all fairness, I have to say, I'm not going to expect that churches will stop people coming through the door to worship for communion because they have not got a test. I just can't work.
It's a pity we have run out of time, because I really would have liked to hear from you, your perspective on how COVID-19 has challenged you as a church, just in terms of your role, especially in instances such as this. But I'm sure we'll continue that conversation another time. Thank you so much for your time, Bishop Mpumlwana.